Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video review, I want to talk about a few of the coins um, that one of my subscriber mentioned a few times. So shout out to Arpit Patel. Arpit, this video review is for you. I know you mentioned this coin a few times, so I'm finally getting them getting them to you, and hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you can um, make educated investment based on this video review, and so let's get it started. All right, so the first one that you mentioned, that Arpit mentioned, is Achain. The ticker is ACT. All right, so Achain is a very small market cap, so it's a small coin, 130 million. All right, so a lot of room to grow. That's a good thing, a lot of room to grow. Volume is decent, 15 million. Circulating supply 300 million, and the overall supply is $1 billion. So that tells me a lot of people, a lot of probably the management team, a lot of team that is working on Achain have probably have holdings of it, and they cannot release it until maybe a couple of years. All these blockchains that are coming out nowadays, all these ICOs that are coming out nowadays, they have restriction on they're paying their team in the tokens. They're paying their team basically with their in ICO offerings, discounted offerings, but they have like this restriction that they can only hold it for a certain amount of, they have to hold it for a certain amount of years, in order to make sure there's not enough, in order to make sure there's not enough um, um, they're not bombarded with the supply, and there's not enough demand out there. So they want to make sure there's enough demand, and then they want to phase out the releasing of those token by their employees. All right, if they do choose to sell. Okay, so let's look at the all-time for Achain. So it came out last year around September. Since then, it's been in nice uptrend, going nice uptrend. Then it broke out in December, as you can see with the overall market. When the overall market broke out, it made all-time high around 134. Not $134. $1.34. All right, the $1.34 was around. That was around January when it's made its all-time high. Since then, it sold off with the overall market, tried to bounce back, and went almost up to 70 cents. Now it's trading around 46 cents. Okay, so if I look at this overall picture, what it shows me, okay, this is the all right, now this is the data from the day one since it has been trading. So it shows me a little bit of head and shoulder pattern right now. So if you see it, this is left shoulder right here, if you can call this a left shoulder, if you can call this like a head, and this is the right shoulder. All right, so that tells me that I would be, if I have a position in it, I would put my stop loss below this, below 30, around 30 cents, just because anything below 30 cents we might see some expedited selling in the coin. But if you are starting a new position, we are sitting right now currently around, the previous resistance was around 43 cents, and we are sitting right around 46 cents. All right, so maybe a couple more cents down and we have a good support in Achain. I could not pull this pair in trading view, so I could not do my usual technical analysis that I do based on the candlestick patterns, which is my kind of go to technical analysis. I like doing it on the candlestick because it tells me the highs and the lows of the day, how the price action stopped. So it's hard to do it by this kind of graph. So bear with me. This is not, I usually don't like doing it in this kind of graph format. I like to do it in the candlestick, and I'm sure most of the technical analysts out there, they also like to do it in the candlestick format, but I couldn't find it on trading view. So Let's look at the website. All right, so if you click on the website, I was looking at their team. All right, so team seems to be like spread out throughout like different continents. So first thing you always want to look at, the new coins that you want to invest in. Look into team, like go and check it out. Like what is their background? Like do they have like people who are like technology savvy? Look at their like LinkedIn profile. What kind of background do they have? What kind of like work experience they have? I mean, this space is so new that you will have to do this small research here and there, or you will have to just take the word from people on YouTube who are like pumping things left to right. I mean, I see those things on YouTube and it's just like, I'm like, where are you getting this data from? Okay, well, I mean, you're saying you're making a statement, but what is that statement? What are you basing that statement on? I mean, do you have any proof on that? Do you have, where are you making that, like, those statements? All right. So do, make, look at the team, look at their LinkedIn profile, look at their documents, look at their white paper, like, that will, and look at their roadmap. So those kind of things will give you an idea of like how what they're planning to do, what if they're meeting their milestones. So all these things, this roadmap milestones, you want to check their presence on the social media. You want to check their Twitter page. Are they active on Twitter? Are they like actively posting their like their success, like their challenges, everything on Twitter? Are they active on social media? Because that is also very key aspect of smaller coins like Achain, because smaller coins don't get as much attention like big one like Ripple or like Cardano. So they need to get the attention from the social media. I mean, they have a very limited budget, so they have to go out on Twitter, on YouTube. So they have to get those things going. So look at those milestones. These are all the milestones. Make sure like you are following those milestones and they're hitting those milestones. So you want to see those things, like are they able to hit those milestones? Just because it's on their website doesn't mean that it's going to happen. There might be some setbacks, there might be some technical issues. So you want to see all those things. That's how you like trade. That's how you make investment. You don't want to just go by someone on YouTube, some kid with like nice Ferrari or like a Lamborghini in the background saying that Achain is great and pumping it up. You don't want to do those things, because what's going to happen is like they're going to pump it up all the way. They're going to pump it up like let's look at the chart. What do you think happened here? What do you think? This is all pumped. This all got pumped up and then it got completely dumped. So you don't want to be in that situation where you're buying into the hype and then someone who bought it around here is selling you their making 200-300 times gains and selling you at like all-time high. So you want to be the educated investor. Buy low, sell high. Simple as that. Buy low, sell high. Keep those things in mind. Don't chase the price action on the upside. Okay, there will be plenty of opportunities in the market. That one thing I can promise you is this market, or any market, cryptocurrency, stock market, option markets, futures market, real estate market, whatever you want to call it, every single market will give you plenty of opportunities to make money. All right, but only if you are disciplined enough to pull the trigger on the right time. Okay, if you have to be disciplined, you have to have discipline in order to pull the trigger at the right time. If you're pulling trigger at $1 just because it's in the media, it's like some YouTuber is hyping it up and you're buying around $1, next thing you know, that whole you bought it at all-time high and now everyone is like getting out of it. So you are stuck with holding that bag until for next 6 months maybe. Who knows when is going to turn around, until when is going to go back to its all-time high. So what I'm trying to say is, Don't be don't be an irresponsible trader. Don't be irresponsible investor. Don't buy into the hype of some YouTuber, some kid on YouTube trying to hype it up. I see this a lot, and it's like it just makes me like, I'm like pulling my hair. It's like, are you kidding me? These guys are like, they're trying to hype something that is so, it's already had a massive run. It had 200, 300 times run, and they're still trying to pump it up. Are you trying to, like, what are you trying to do with this? Are you trying to become like, multimillionaire overnight with $1,000 investment? I mean, you have to be logical, otherwise people will just take you, and they will be the one who are taking advantage of you. Okay, so all in all, I think it's a decent coin. Do your as I mentioned, do read the. I haven't done my fundamental analysis on Achain, but this is what I would recommend. Read the white paper. Get the comfortable with the project. Subscribe to their, like, their social media, Twitter. See what's going on. Like, if they're meeting those targets on the milestones. As far as the technical goes, it seems like there's a support coming up around 40 cents. 40, yeah, so right now we are at what, 46 cents, so there is support around 41 cents, major supports around 41 cents, and then there's one at 44 cents as well. It's hard to like read it from this chart pattern, so my apologies for not being spot on the support levels, but overall I think it's a decent coin. The thing that I like about it is there's still a very lot of room to grow for this coin. Don't keep it for, if it goes below below a certain level, like below 30 cents, I would not be, I don't want to hold on to it, because it's looking in a head and shoulder pattern overall. So if you want to hold it for, like, for at least a year or 2 years, then you definitely want to do more research on their white paper, what they're trying to offer, what they're trying to solve. That will be very beneficial. As far as for the short-term technical analysis, keep an eye on this, like, support level of 42 cents. That is one of the major resistance before, now is becoming a support. So that will, if that supports hold and the overall market goes in the positive direction, then it might have a room to run toward 70 cents, which was the previous intermediate high. And if you have enough volume, then we can break that and go toward 90 cents and possibly beyond that. The key that you want to look at is the volume. Okay, if you want to see if there's additional volume coming into Achain, that will be the key indicator. Okay, all right, so that's for Achain. The second one that you mentioned was ECC. All right, ECC is another one that Arpit mentioned earlier. He wanted to do the video, he wanted me to do the review on that. Again, very small market cap, only 65 million, so it's a very small project. Circulating supply, $25 billion, very low volume. So this is one of those coin that is like, it's like a hit or miss. It's like a penny stocks and small penny stock in stock market. All right, if you do, like, trading in the stock market, and if you have done any penny stock trading, so it's one of those coin. All right, so I want to, so all time it's been in existence since July. So 2014, so it's been, like, it's been trading for quite a while now, and surprisingly the market cap hasn't gone, it's only at 65 million, so that's a very small market cap. For the volume is very low, so it's doesn't have enough presence, or people just don't know about it. So I'm just trying to look it on the social media, how active they are. So those things that you want to see, if they're active on social media, if they're a smaller coin, that I want them to be very active, like almost on the daily basis. They want to post like at least couple of, like, post on their Twitter, on their Facebook page, and so they want to stay active just because they are very small a project. So that way they can get more audience, more volume, and that's the only way to grow for them. And having it like good solid fundamental project. So right now I'm looking at the 1 month. Seems like it broke out this earlier again with the January consolidating. So I mean it did not completely like got shattered in the sell-off, if you will, but it's still consolidating. So keep your eye on it. If you're already in the position, then I wouldn't like I would probably like watch this key level right here, 0.0016, because that's a previous previous resistance, now a support. Okay, so keep your eye on that level. We want to stay above that level. So if you really believe in this coin and if you think this have a longer term potential, then I would keep your eye on that level right here, 0.001. Okay, and if the market turns, and you want to see how this coin reacts when the overall market turns. Is it reacting very positively? Is it not reacting at all? So you want to see how's the reaction when the overall market turns. So right now the market cap is $506 billion. So you want to see when the market turns and try to go toward upside, how this coin is reacting. So that will give you a kind of like indicator if there is enough interest in this coin, because this is a very speculative coin. It's a small coin, so it's a very speculative coin, and people don't usually want to jump into this kind of coin with a lot of money. They probably will test the water with $1,000 investment, $2,000 investment. If they have a lot of money sitting on the sideline, or if they really do believe in the project, they might go up to 5,000. So the volume, as you can see, the volume is not very big. So those kind of things that you want to take a look at. All right. Second thing is like if it's holding like in the sell-off, if it's holding its own ground. So that thing will tell you like how is the the people who are holding the coin right now, are they long-term investors or are they short-term traders? That will give you a good signal if it's selling off during the overall sell-off of the market. So far the sell-off seems like it doesn't look like anything like all the way up and then all the way down. The pattern doesn't look like that. So it seems like the people who are in it for like a little bit maybe longer term. All right, the good thing I see on here is like the circulating supply is $25 billion and max. So everything is almost like a community coin at this point. Everything is out and it's all the supply it's a community coin. So the manipulation of the price action could be limited. All right, so it's not like if the management wants to decide to manipulate the price action, they can do it, because the circulating supply and the max supply is the same. So it's a community coin basically at this point. All right, let's look at the website. Okay, distributed network services. Click to join us on Slack. Okay, continue to the old website. I'm gonna continue to also. Okay, so this is the old website, I guess. You can go to the website. You can see what they are trying to solve, what problem they're trying to cover. Frequency asked question. Okay. The roadmap. Okay, so if you want to look at the roadmap, that's always a good thing. Like you want to see if they're hitting those milestones. Just because they're putting it on the piece of paper doesn't mean anything. They have to hit those milestones, and if they're consistently hitting those milestones, if they're not hitting it, what is the reason behind it? So you want to see those things. All right. So I won't be spending too much time reading about the the fundamental of this coin. I just wanted to quickly glance at the roadmap. Where is the team? About, maybe it's in about. Let's see. Explorer, Slack, okay, Exchange, Explore, social media, Explorers, FAQs. So I don't see their team here. Maybe I need to just do a little bit more digging, or if it's hiding somewhere. So Arpit, if you're watching this, take a look at the team. That will be another good thing to look at. As I said before, you want to see who are the people behind this project. That is a very I try to explain this a lot, that a project is as good as the team behind it. Okay, let me repeat that. A project is as good as the team behind it. Just because you have a great idea doesn't mean jack shit. All right, everyone have a great idea. I have tons of great idea. Doesn't mean that I will be able to implement those ideas. You need to have the right people in order to implement those ideas. You need to have the right structure in order to implement those ideas. So those things matters, right? So it needs to have a good team behind it. It needs to have people who are driven behind it. So those things, take a look at it, especially the coin like these ECC, which is a very small coin. If they're not out in front, and if they're not selling themselves, that's not a very good sign to me, at least right now. I mean, if you have such a small market cap, if you're such a small team or a small project, you really need to be out there. I mean, you really need to have a strong social media presence. You really need to have a team who is very active in order to trying to explain what they're trying to solve, trying to come up with the solutions, trying to interact with the investors. So you want to see those kind of things in a smaller team like this, because I mean, if they don't do it, then I mean it's not gonna be, it might be a standstill for another 6 months. It's hard to predict that from just by looking at this, because there is not enough volume. So I mean, this one of those coins is hit or miss. It's literally is completely hit or miss, just by looking at from this standpoint. So I mean, I could be completely wrong. There might be some serious thing that they're trying to solve, but at least the team needs to be out there. Those are the signs that you have to look for. Team needs to be out there. They need to be active on the social media, try to engage the audience. Those kind of things that needs to be very very upfront, especially a smaller project like this. Okay, so ECC seems okay. I mean, I'm not very sold on it. I think it's okay if you're, I mean, as I mentioned, those price levels, keep your eye on those price level. And so for intermediate point 0.015 is the support. So keep your eye on the price action. How is this coin reacting when the overall market turns? All right, that will give you a better indicator that there is still interest out there, and it can see its all-time high and possibly break those all-time high and coming weeks and months to come. All right, so hopefully you're got in a little bit early, and or if you are getting a position, I think there are better coins out there, but that's just me. So that's for ECC. So let's move on to the last one that you mentioned. So this one I do have data from Binance. So this one is a BAT, BAT. Let's look up. Let's look it up. So basic attention token. All right. So I have heard about this coin. A lot of chatter about this coin. As I was actually almost got into this coin at one point, and I might still do. So right now is on the downturn, coming to a near-term support around 40 cents. Yeah, around 40 cents. 41, maybe 41 cents. That's the let's do, yeah. So let's go back here. So it's sitting pretty nicely, right? It tried to break out. This is the here. This is, let me just pinch it up a little bit. Okay, so this is basic attention token. I have heard about it. The graph looks great. Out of all three that you have asked for, I think technically speaking, I love this one out of all three of those that you have mentioned. A few things. It broke out with a higher volume, consolidation on the lower volume, try to break out. The overall market condition is so bearish that it's still like, the weak hands are getting out, but on the small, the volume is not high. So that tells me these are just people who bought it at all-time high and they just want to get out of it. There was a big reversal action happened from the moving average. That is a great sign. So I will be actually looking into this coin. It's in fact this is a good coin to keep an eye on. Honestly, I have heard about it, and this is the previous. Let's put it right. Okay, so right now it's sitting on right at the support that we previous resistance that was support. So let's see if it can hold that support level. Right now we are on. So right now it's trading at 49 cents. So it's sitting right at the support level. So let's see if it can hold that support level, and that would be, if it can hold it, then and if the overall market turns, this coin can have a further leg toward what is that price? 60 cents. Yeah, so it can have a run toward 60 cents if it can hold the support level. Overall, the chart, it's looking good to me. Technically speaking, this is a good chart to have. It's bouncing right off the moving average with a good volume, consolidation on the lower volume, and it's holding up on the support level right now. Let's look at the smaller time frame. Okay, smaller time frame looking decent. This is a 4-hour time frame. Again, it's that the support level is holding up nicely. Those are the things that we want to see. So yeah, I think this is a good one to hold and trade for longer term too. I've been hearing a good thing about this coin, fundamentally as well. You can check it out on their website. You can do your you can read their watch the video or read their white paper. Follow them on the Twitter. The market cap for a basic attention token is about almost $500 million, 500 million, and volume is pretty good. Circulating supply is on the higher side. But all in all, I think this is out of all three of them, if I have to pick, I would pick basic attention token. A few things, they have a good social media following. It's already in the community, people are talking about it, and the price action looks pretty decent with this graph holding up on the key support levels. All right, so that's my take on the three coins, Arpit, that you mentioned. So hope this was helpful, and if you have any question, please post it in the comments. If any of the viewers out there who want me to do the video reviews, I will be more than happy to do it. Please subscribe to the channel, please support the channel. That will keep me motivated in order to do this video reviews for you guys. And if you learned something today, please give me a big thumbs up, and we can go from there. All right, before we wrap it up, let's talk about Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin, right? Again, I talked about this in this afternoon video, that is bouncing back from this trend line that we drew yesterday. All right, so I tried to break it, but now it's bouncing right back. So I'm watching closely. All right, I'm I'm watching it every few hours on this trend line, trying to see how it's going to hold up. So keep your eye on this price action in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the mothership. Remember, the Asian market is the key to cryptocurrency trading. So we want to see how the Asian markets is opening up and how it's reacting tonight. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for your support, and I will talk to you soon.